It's not about being perfect, it's about showing up. If you ever want to change your life and become a better version of yourself, become richer, become smarter, become hotter, get whatever it is you desire, you have to become comfortable with the uncomfortability of embracing imperfection. You have to love imperfection. You have to love it so much that you even love bad days. Because in order for you to actually get your dream life, you just have to show up for that dream life every single day. And if you do not show up for it, you do not want it enough. And you might say, well, I want it enough. I want my dream life enough. I'm just tired. And it's okay. You can go take a nap. There's nothing wrong with taking a little nap. But you still got to go and show up for it. And the reason you're probably scared of going and showing up for it is because you have some idea in your head about it being perfect. You feel like you need it to be perfect in order for you to make a move. And that's actually what's keeping you from making a move, because you feel like it needs to be perfect. This is the main thing that keeps people from being able to get their dream lives. They get comfortable with making the excuse that it needs to be perfect, thinking it's some noble thing to think that things need to be perfect. I used to be a big praiser of perfectionism myself, and honestly it made me a huge procrastinator, and it also made me completely burned out because I would depend so much on the result of whatever it is I was doing that I wasn't really enjoying the journey. I wasn't allowing myself to enjoy the journey and learn as I go. Instead, I felt like I needed to torture myself just to get a certain result. Of course I didn't like the result. Of course I only felt a mild sense of relief when I finished something because I wasn't enjoying getting there. And that's why a lot of people end up giving up on their dreams. They feel like it's torture to show up every single day. It feels overwhelming. It feels like it's gonna burn you out because you make it an extremely big deal. And of course your body is gonna be like, whoa, step down there, because your body does not want you to go into uncomfortability. Your body and mind is trying to keep you safe, and the way it keeps you safe is by keeping you in the same territory that you are used to. It does not want to face something that it doesn't know, because the greatest fear is actually the fear of the unknown. It cannot save you. It cannot predict what's going to happen. So it wants to keep you where you are. Maybe you're just getting into self-growth. Maybe you want to grow a business. Maybe you want to become hotter. And you think the thing you need to do is go out, get a new haircut, get a facial, get your eyelashes done, wear a new wardrobe, all in one day. Or maybe you're someone who wants to start going to the gym because you know it's going to be beneficial for you. Going to the gym is generally beneficial. And you have this idea that you want this bubble butt, but you don't want to start till you have the perfect workout program. And then when you do go, you want to go for 3 hours to finish the program perfectly, to do every single rep right. And then you go back home and then you have to have a high protein meal. Of course, you're going to end up completely burned out, and your body is going to go into even more fear mode because you just overloaded it. And it's going to keep you wanting to go back to sleep and take a nap instead of you actually going out and doing something. I take martial arts classes, and I am not good. I am absolutely not good. But I'm also someone who understands that in order for me to make progress with a lot of other stuff in my life, I have to have hobbies that I just show up to just for showing up. I do not need to be perfect. I do not need to try to get everything right. I just need to show up. And mind you, I did ballet for many, many, many years. So martial arts is not something that I'm like, oh yeah, let me just go do that. So the first time I went there, it was definitely completely confusing and very new. But I went. And then at my last class, my instructor said, the hardest thing to do in this class is actually just to show up. And that resonated with me so much because I know for a fact that I'm not going to be able to do the punches that I need to do with all the big guys that are in my class while I have these nails on. That doesn't mean that I can't do whatever it is I can do. And if he says, oh, try to kick this way instead, I'm gonna try it. I don't beat myself up about not being able to do it because you know what? I had zero expectations of myself. And I'm not saying you shouldn't set expectations for yourself. I'm just saying set them lower and pleasantly surprise yourself. If you want to start going to the gym, what you should start doing is just show up to the gym. Put your gym clothes on and walk towards the gym. When you walk towards the gym, you're going to be like, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym anyways. And then you get to the gym. Maybe you do 10 minutes of walking. Maybe you want to go and try one of the machines. Maybe that's what you end up doing for the day. Instead of you going on some diet where you have to cut out everything and trying to get like a 20-pound weight loss in 2 weeks, maybe you just make some healthy swaps and then you can take it from there. And then make sure to also praise yourself for doing these things. Have a little notebook where you write proof of the fact that you're a great human being. This proof can literally be you showing up to the gym. I showed up to the gym today. Put on some song that is happy and fun and celebrate it. Woohoo! What usually tends to happen for a lot of perfectionists, and mind you, I have been there big time, is that they feel like they need to push themselves. They need to man up and push themselves to the limit. And they feel like if they're not punishing themselves, then they're not gonna do good. I want you to think about that little voice inside your head that always tells you, you need to do more, you need to do more, who's constantly punishing you. And I want you to ask yourself, if these thoughts that I have and this voice was a person, would I be friends with them? And most importantly, would I be friends with them only because I'm scared of them? Or would I be strong enough to stand up and say, you know what, we're not friends anymore? Every time you think about your thoughts, which is what we usually do a lot every day. You have to think about them as a person. If these thoughts were a person, would I be friends with them? Would I encourage them? Would I be like, yeah, this is cool? Or would I be like, that's not gonna fly here? When you think about your thoughts in third person, then suddenly you can put more perspective on your own perfectionism and your own inner tendencies, because suddenly you understand that your thoughts are actually not a part of you. They do not represent you. They're just passing through. They're just some guy that you hang out with, but you hang out with him way too much. What I'm going to talk about now is a method that I've personally used for many years, and it's called the running sushi method. If you've ever gone to a running sushi restaurant, you know that there are little trays of sushi that are running by you at all times. And whatever you want to eat, you pick up from the conveyor belt and you put it in front of you and you eat. And then you only pay for the pieces of sushi that you eat. And in some instances, you even pay for the sushi you don't eat, but that you take down. You have to think about your mind as the running sushi. Everything you're thinking is a plate of different sushi, and you see them running by all the time, and the pieces of sushi are going to come back. The same thing happens with your thoughts. You might have some bad thought about yourself. You might want to punish yourself. You might want to tell yourself that you're not doing good enough. That is a piece of sushi on the conveyor belt. When you go to running sushi, do you pick any of the pieces of sushi that you do not want to eat? No, you do not. And do you understand that for every single piece of sushi that you do not eat, you have to pay extra? And of course, you're not going to want to eat the pieces of sushi that you do not like. And you also don't want to pay for them, so you're going to let them run by you. And they're probably going to circle back to you again, but you're just going to let them run on. Because you also know that good pieces of sushi are going to come your way, aka good thoughts are going to come your way. You have to treat your bad thoughts as the bad pieces of sushi that you do not want to eat, and you're also not interested in paying extra for them if you left them on the plate. You're generally just not interested in paying for them at all. So what you're going to do with your bad thoughts is you're going to say, you know what? I know a good thought is coming. I'm going to let you pass, and I'm not going to entertain you. Because the thing is, when you eat a bad piece of sushi that you do not like, what happens? You become full. And you're not going to have space for all of the sushi that you do like. And then you're going to have to pass up on all of the good thoughts on the conveyor belt, all of the good pieces of sushi, essentially. If the only thing you're doing is entertaining bad thoughts about perfectionism, about telling yourself that you're not good enough, then of course you're not going to have space for entertaining good things. And you're going to have a horrible feeling in your stomach. You're going to feel a little foolish because you understand that the sushi belt is going to keep running and the bad pieces of sushi are going to keep passing you, but you're just not going to entertain them. And if you accidentally end up eating a bad piece of sushi or entertaining a thought that is bad, then you know it tastes bad, and then you know to never go for it again. Then you know not to entertain it next time. You're only going to eat what makes you feel good, not what you don't like. And even though they keep passing by, they're going to keep passing by, they're going to keep passing by, you're just going to be looking out for the good pieces, and you know that they're going to come to you. Why would you be looking for the bad pieces of sushi on the conveyor belt if you're only here to eat the pieces of sushi that you like? Then you're going to start feeling frustrated. But if you only look for the ones you like, then you actually stop focusing on the ones that you don't like. And then eventually you start noticing the fact that the bad pieces of sushi are even there. They just pass by. You know not to entertain them because you know that they would make you feel terrible. So you just let them slide. And you know that a good piece of sushi is always going to come your way. So even if there's a bad piece of sushi that comes once in a while, you know that it's going to be followed by a good one eventually. So you're going to be like, oh, that's good. Stuff is coming my way. This is why it's so important for you to only entertain the things that you do conquer and not focus on all the things that you do not conquer, the things that do not work out. Actually, you should focus on the things that do not work out, but you should be glad of them. You should be happy that they happen. I mean, of course, if you break your leg, it's very, very valid that you do cry because obviously that's not fun. But for example, back to the whole martial arts thing. I can't believe I'm actually telling you guys that I go to these classes. Last time I went, we had to do arm exercises, punches. And there are so many of these that I was definitely not made for. I'm very, very double jointed. And mind you, I'm training with all of these big buff men. And whenever we need to do exercises where one person holds like a glove and the other person punches against it, I literally cannot hold the glove up. That's how like weak and unstable my arms are. But you know what? I had so much fun at my last class because I didn't set these crazy expectations for myself. This is why having a hobby where you do not know anything is absolutely great, because it becomes much more about you just showing up and trying things out. And then actually you do get some skills along the way, but you were playing to learn it. It's like when a kid is learning the alphabet, but they're learning it from watching some fun TV show. You're not even gonna notice that you learned it. And then eventually you're gonna be at the goalpost and you played all the way there. The reason why it's also really good to have a hobby where you have no expectations is that you also learn that there are no expectations of you but the expectations that you set for yourself. I had a hard time with this for a long time because I'm neurodivergent and I like systems. I want people to tell me what I need to do when it comes to schoolwork, when it comes to a lot of things, because I feel that then it's easier for me to manage because then I can make it perfect. I had such a hard time with this for so many years because obviously life is not perfect, which is why I ended up really being obsessed with being in school because I felt like I could kind of manage it and I could tame it and I could conquer it because there were always these perfect ways to do stuff. But then in everything else in my life, everything was falling apart because nothing is perfect in life. Perfectionism does not exist. Perfectionism is an illusion. Imperfection is actually perfection. Because if I had everything right now, I would not be happy about it. The process of getting there by falling and getting up and falling and getting up, that's what's going to make me grateful in the long haul. Not me pushing myself to fall down, but me just being happy about the fact that, you know what, today I did not throw the best punch, but I went there, which means that I did learn something, and hooray for that. I used to be so addicted to this whole idea of having systems set up where there are no expectations of you, where it's just kind of free. Then you actually want to put yourself in it more. And you're also more free to create who you want to be in it because you're not trying to depend it on some type of system. I used to think that the system and the rules were a blessing until I understood that I can create my own. And I can show up on my journey of actually figuring out that I wanted to do these martial arts classes. I actually went to a hip hop class. And this hip hop class was disastrous because it was definitely not hip hop. It was actually, this is ridiculous. I don't know if I can even tell you guys this. I signed up for the hip hop class and I was expecting hip hop. And then it was us dancing the NSYNC Bye 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 choreography from the music video. And I've never felt like I was in a more wrong place in my whole life. The teacher was extremely enthusiastic and I can definitely tell that this class was really good for a lot of the people in it. But I just couldn't really get jiggy with dancing the choreography to the NSYNC music video. And I could very easily have gone home and been like, I'm never going to any class again in my whole life. But you know what? I had a great laugh. I tried this class out. I looked absolutely ridiculous. And then a couple weeks later, I signed up for the martial arts thing. And then I went and it was really, really fun. It was way up my street. And I'd never imagined that the martial arts class would have been up my street because I used to dance for so many years. I thought between hip hop and doing martial arts, someone who's done ballet for many years might gravitate towards the hip hop class. But you know what? Life is full of surprises and I would have never known if I didn't pick myself up and say, you know what? That was hilarious. That was not for me, but it was hilarious. And then I went to the martial arts class. I could have very well sat myself down on my bed and been like, there's never gonna be a sport for me. And actually, I used to be like that with the gym. Believe me, you guys, I used to be the type of person who's like, the gym is just not for me. It's too performancy. There are too many guys pumping iron there. And I just don't want to be the type of person who's like obsessed with the gym. I honor the fact that I used to be that type of person, because if I hadn't been that type of person, I wouldn't be the type of person that I am today, who will gladly go to the gym and who think it's pretty cool that people lift weights. And honestly, judging people will just end up making you being the one to be judged for the same thing you're judging people for, which is a whole other topic for a whole other video. But you know what? This video is also not perfect. I'm not here to make this video perfect. I'm here to show up. I'm here to make this video because I understand that there's something within me that I need to share. And it's not about me just being some perfect, hey guys, and today we're gonna talk about this. I'm gonna refilm this video 1,000 times and put it up. No, I needed to film this video and just put whatever in it that I needed to put in it and just show up, because that's what matters. And if I film it again and again and again, of course I'm gonna get burnout. And the video is just probably gonna get more boring and less perfect in the end, because it's gonna lose all of its soul. It's just about showing up. Show up for yourself. Show up for the version of yourself that you wanna be. If you wanna live a life where you're some rich guy, maybe you watch Wolf of Wall Street. Maybe you watch a documentary about money. If you sign up for some investment account while you're just trying to learn about money and you're like, I'm gonna just do it all today, of course you're gonna end up being burned out and being like, money is terrible. And I'm not saying Wolf of Wall Street is the best example of that either. So I'm just trying to make an example of the fact that sometimes it's just about taking simple steps. If you want to eat a healthier diet, maybe you start eating oatmeal for breakfast instead of eating whatever it is you do eat now, instead of just changing your whole diet in like one day. And eventually you're going to be feeling happy about making these changes because you're encouraging yourself to do it. You're not making yourself feel terrible. You're not telling yourself that you need to do more and you need to do more. And a lot of people might say, well, I'm afraid of becoming lazy. You will never become lazy if you're doing something that you truly want to do. If you're doing something that you're truly motivated to do, you will never become lazy, and you need to have certainty of that. If you do not have certainty of that, then that is not your purpose. And what you do need to do if you do not have certainty about what your purpose is that you need to sit down and say, I have certainty that my purpose is going to be revealed to me. Because the thing is, the biggest reason why we actually keep away from making the moves that we need to move is because we're afraid of the future. We're afraid of failing. We're afraid, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if I can't chase my dream? That is not having certainty. You need to sit down and tell yourself, I have certainty. I have certainty. And when you say, I have certainty, I have certainty, I have certainty, then all other negative vibrations or whatever it is inside your head, the bad sushi you do not want to eat, it's going to cancel out. Because fear and certainty do not mix. And if you do not know what your purpose is yet, sit down and say, I have certainty that my purpose is going to reveal itself to me. I have certainty that my purpose is going to reveal itself to me, and it can be revealed any moment. Because it can. The universe is literally so big. Go watch one of those videos where they zoom out and then they show you the whole galaxy and the universe and the emptiness of it all. It is unlimited. The universe is literally unlimited, so why can you not be? And why can you not have certainty? Because when you step out of certainty and when you step out of the moment, the present, which is a gift, remember? The present is a gift, that's why it's called a present. You need to step into the idea of certainty. You need to step into the idea that the good sushi is going to come around. And not obsess over things needing to be perfect. Not obsess over what's going to happen if I don't do this perfectly. What you're going to have to do is just do. Just do it. Just try it out, and then have certainty that whatever result you're going after is going to come up when you just keep going. When you look at long haul flights, when you zoom in on like the map of the flights actually flying across the Atlantic Ocean or wherever it's flying, most of what a flight is doing is actually course correcting. When you zoom out, it looks like a straight line. But when you zoom in very, very close, the plane is course correcting all the time. That's exactly the same thing that happens in your life. And if you're too set on getting to a specific result through a specific journey, that journey is going to tire you out, because that's not going to be the best journey. That's not going to be the easiest journey, but that's going to be the journey you set yourself on. That's going to be the journey you are obsessed with. You have to worry less about the how do you get there and more about the, okay, I'm gonna get there. I have certainty I'm gonna get there. I'm just gonna make some moves now and I'm gonna see where they're gonna take me. The good sushi is gonna come my way anyways. I just need to focus on the now. Tell yourself that every single day. I have certainty. I have certainty. Do not let yourself get caught up on perfection. Perfection is the road that you think you need to take, but the universe has unlimited roads. It's like in the Marvel universe, there's infinite versions of wherever you want to go, but you're set on one version. Of course, that's going to feel very, very hard. That's going to tire you out because you are not open. You are not certain that it was going to come your way anyways. You are so set on something. You're trying to plan your life, so you forgot living it. You're trying to look beyond the mountains, so you forgot to see the flowers that are right at your feet. This is why it's so important for you to enjoy the journey. It's also very important that you do not punish yourself for the things that you go through. You do not linger in the emotion of sadness, in the emotion of fear. Instead, you tune into the emotion of certainty. You tell yourself over and over again that you have certainty, even if you're going through something that feels hard. And when you're going through something hard, you say, I love it. Give me more. I love this. This is amazing. I know it's for the greater good, because it's going to show your nervous system. It's going to show the universe. It's going to show you that you are ready to receive more because you already know how to handle what you have now. And it's not going to send you more of that bad situation that you're in by saying, I love it, give me more, or saying, I am certain in the moment where you feel like things are about to fall apart. It is just going to make you the creator. It's going to make you be in charge and say, I decide what my life is. I decide that even though I'm going through something that might feel hard, it is not hard. I'm ready for even more. When you are obsessed with perfection, you shrink yourself. You shrink yourself to this idea that you've created for yourself about what you can be. You think, what if this and what if that and what if that? You are thinking about the future. You're not being present. And isn't it funny? We usually always think, what if it goes wrong? And usually it doesn't go wrong. And we all are here alive today. You're able to watch this video. So something did bring you a certain way. You were brought to this moment, which means it was good. When we think about the future, if we do, we should say, what if it all went right? What if I could only win? What if there were no limitations? What if I was unlimited? What you focus on is what you get more of. And of course, you're going to end up creating this idea that getting the life that you want is going to be hard if everything you're doing to yourself is telling yourself that perfectionism is the end all be all. You're shrinking yourself by saying that this is the only option. Perfectionism is the only option. I will not do anything that isn't perfect. You're shrinking yourself. You're shrinking so many opportunities. You're telling the universe you are not ready for more because you have not yet mastered letting yourself feel that you can be infinite. The world's not going to give you infinite if you do not feel infinite. If you feel like you need to strive for perfection, it's because you feel that you need to set limits for yourself. It's because you feel you need to live up to certain systems, ways of doing things, because you are afraid. We do not strive for perfection because perfection makes us happy. We strive for perfection because we're afraid what happens if we do not do it. We're afraid we might lose ourselves if we do not do enough, which is essentially saying that you are not enough, that you have to overexert yourself to get enough. So you're not validating that you are enough. You're saying, I'm going to try to chase enough. I'm going to try to do everything in my power to get enough. And then you don't see what's right in front of you. Then you don't appreciate what's right in front of you. And the universe cannot give you more. The universe will not give you more. Because when you do get more, you will not be appreciative. You haven't trained that appreciation. So it does not know that you are ready for it. Because you are trying to run and run and run to get to perfection. But on the way to perfection, you tired yourself out so much. And then you're wondering why you're not getting it. Why am I not getting more? Why am I not getting more? Well, through you chasing perfectionism, you went through the dirt. You went through the hardships. You went through the mud and the branches and the thorns. It's essentially you asking the universe for the perfect ball gown. You're saying, why can't I get the ball gown? Why can't I get the ball gown? And the universe is looking at you and it's saying, you didn't take a shower yet. And you understand also that if you wore the ball gown after being covered in mud, the essence of the ball gown would not be the same. You wouldn't be able to handle the ball gown. You would want to go shower and wash your hair and do your makeup before you wear the ball gown. You would want to make an effort so you are ready to wear the ball gown. Of course it feels wrong to wear the ball gown because you're covered in mud, but you're expecting the universe to give you the ball gown. That's not how things work. You need to go praise yourself. You need to go shower yourself. You need to shower yourself in praise. You need to put effort into yourself so the universe can see, oh, this is who the ball gown is meant to go to. And then when you actually already praise yourself, when you have showered yourself in praise and you have gotten rid of the mental mud, then the universe will give you everything because you're already there. You have certainty, so it's all going to come your way. You're not trying to chase through mud for perfectionism. You understood that whatever is meant to be will come, and you're going to go about your life and you're going to still do great. You're going to do whatever you need to do. You're going to continuously show up for yourself, whether that means you looking at the little money you invested and maybe investing just a little bit because you want to get good at investing. You're still investing, even though the only thing you're able to invest might be $100. Maybe you go and you learn how to do a full face of makeup, or you do your hair. And maybe you have to get these hair tools and maybe you have to get this makeup from places that aren't that pricey, but you're still doing it and you're still showing up for yourself every day. Maybe you're like me. You don't know anything about martial arts. I just have myself and I'm going to show up. And then whatever result is meant to be is meant to be. The same thing here. I'm going to show up. I'm going to make this video because I know the power lies within showing up. It does not lie within perfection. It does not lie within punishing yourself for not doing good enough. It lies within praising yourself for having done what you needed to do. Then saying, you know what? I'm certain that whatever is supposed to come my way is going to come my way. I'm happy with what I have now. I'm happy with the effort that I put in. I'm happy. I am so happy. And even when you have a day where the stocks go down, even when you have a day where you drop your powder blush on the floor and it cracks everywhere, even when I have a day where I go to martial arts class and I kick and it just does not look right, even if I make a video where my hair is not completely perfect, it's done. It is done. You did it. You showed up. That's what matters. And where effort goes, effort flows. It is not about being perfect. It is about showing up.